Hello guys, my name is Reika and welcome back. So, I wanted to talk about a story I found interesting. So, 5 years ago, there was a young man named Asher Vann who was accused and dragged through social and real life media for racially biased bullying, where the mother and the kid who accused this guy got a GoFundMe and a bunch of money and blew through it. Wow, shocker. Who would have guessed that another hoax, another financially motivated, racially biased hoax for profit happened? See, this is what happens when you build a society that allows everybody to just get away with calling whoever they want racist, especially when there's a financial incentive to do so. Obviously, people are just going to be like, oh, this guy looks like your stereotypical popular white guy in school. Let's just pretend he's a racist and make a bunch of money. Wow. Well, now, it didn't end well for these people who did this, and we're going to go through a couple articles here that I found. Just kind of briefly go through them. Or not briefly, but I'm going to read through them. But basically, what had happened is, it was found by a jury court, that this was a hoax, and the people that accused Asher Vann were lying. Yep. Wow. Shocker, right? Another emotionally motivated hoax to make a bunch of money. Right. Alright. So here's the first article. This is from Press Reader. Texas student who was called a racist bully, his accusers now must pay. The last few months of Asher Vann's 8th grade year at Plano, Texas Middle School were a time he'd like to forget. I bet. High school wasn't much better. Again, I bet. Going into high school with all this, holy man, poor kid. Especially his freshman year. It was horrible. The now 18-year-old said during a phone interview. With the Dallas Morning News Thursday, I lost all my friends. I really felt alone. See, this type of stuff completely ruins someone's life, even if it's a false accusation. It still ruins your life. The nightmare for Vann began in March 2021 with a series of Facebook messages posted by Summer Smith, the mother, the one who profited and got all the money, by the way. The mother of one of his friends, Vann, was 14, attending Haggard Middle School at the time. The posts accused the teen and 3 of his football teammates. Go figure. White guys playing football, perfect target for this. Who was black, racial slurs, shooting him with BB guns, and forcing him to drink their urine during a sleepover. Now, if this were true, Asher Vann would 100% deserved everything he got. But by the way, none of it was true. Yeah. It was all made up and a lie. A link to change.org petition included in some of the posts identified the students by their full names. By the way, none of the posts that the mother made had any proof whatsoever of any wrongdoing. They basically just said he did these things, and that was it. While a link to, and then by their, sorry, I just woke up. Petition included in some of the posts identified by the student by their full names, while one to a GoFundMe. There it is. Urged viewers to send donations to pay for counseling services. Counseling services are usually free. In a private school. Oh, okay. Well, can anybody guess what the GoFundMe money went to? It definitely didn't go to counseling, and it definitely didn't go to a private school, because everything was fine. The news is not naming Smith's son because he was a minor at the time. That's fair. But if he's an adult now, if they're releasing Asher Vann's name, they should have to release the kid's name. Or this kid's name too. It's just weird that Asher Vann, who is 18, is being named. I imagine that the kid whose parents did this is probably 18 now too. They're hiding his identity because they know what they did was wrong. They're protecting another criminal, essentially. And yes, falsely accusing people of hate crimes is a criminal offense. It's just never really prosecuted because the people who claim hate crimes are the ones who are protected. But anyways, the news is not... Yeah, okay. The Post sent Vann's life into a tailspin from which he wouldn't recover for years. Those dark days have finally started to fade over a few months, and first with a jury deciding at a trial in October that Smith and her lawyer, Kay Toll, had intentionally inflicted emotional distress on the teen and invaded his privacy. The panel ordered the two women to pay him $3.2 million. Well, that's great. But you think a bunch of broke-ass loser parents like this who used their child as a token to create a fake hate crime accusation to get a bunch of money from a GoFundMe and then blew through it all, has $3.2 million. I feel really bad for this guy. He's not going to see a single cent. And there's absolutely no repercussions to this type of behavior. You can go out and find a random white person, accuse them of a hate crime with no proof, and then get a few $100,000 on a GoFundMe. There's a literal financial incentive to this, with no repercussions if you're found to be wrong. $3.2 million in damages. That's great, but these people probably are on Snap. They don't have $3.2 million. He's never going to see a penny. On January 30th, Collin County District Judge Benjamin Smith issued a final judgment in the case in which he upheld the jury's verdict. And by the way, if anybody wants to lie more about this, the jury was of all different groups of people. It wasn't just white people. It wasn't just black people. You can't play that card. It's not going to work. On January, Smith told the News Friday she plans to appeal. Well, of course you do. You blew through the money, and now you need more. But the thing is, when these things reach court and all you have are your Facebook messages saying that someone did something and you have no proof or receipts of, especially in a time where everyone has cameras and it would be extremely easy to get some proof, you didn't. Cole didn't return a message seeking a comment on the decisions. Well, obviously. I felt like a big weight had finally been lifted off my chest. Well, unfortunately, man, it's great that you got a little justice, but we live in a world where people are still going to side with your accuser. That's just the way it is. People are race-obsessed retards nowadays. It's fucking disgusting. I felt so overwhelmed. It was just pure happiness. Outside the courtroom, tears welled up in his eyes. I bet, like, fuck. And down here, you'll see it. You see the picture of the woman and the accuser here. It's disgusting. Is that the person? The attorney? Yeah. The hug he outside the courtroom. Justin Nicholas. The hug he gave me. The trial. He gave me a trust most meaningful things that happened in my career. Nicholas said, "What happened to my son happened." Oh, okay. And now Smith said Friday she disagrees with the jury's and judge's decision and was frustrated by the rulings that prevented her from presenting some evidence. You had 5 years to present evidence, you lying bitch. That is a vile human being. She also said she stands by her actions. I bet you do, you greedy ass bitch. What happened to my son happened. Oh, really? It was a crime, it was an assault. Damn. Well, unfortunately, you never came forward with any proof over 5 years. What are you going to do? AI up some fucking fake posts? Like, what do you mean? Did people take that and run with it? Or Smith also argued she shouldn't be held responsible for what other people posted on social media or did in response. That's not what happened. You realize in a court of law, people are removed from media. Right? People have their access to their cell phones and the internet taken away during most of these cases. Maybe not for this one specifically because it wasn't a murder case, but in most cases, people are advised not to have social media bias their choice. It's a jury case. If you are found using social media in order to bias your choice on a jury, that is also a federal fucking crime. People aren't stupid enough to do that. Did people take that and run with it, creating TikTok videos and putting out their own narrative? Kind of like you did, coming up with a fake hate crime? Yeah, I bet they did. Well, you lost. Nichols and Vann concede that handing the cup with the apple juice and urine mix to Smith's son to drink was wrong, and Vann... So he did that, which is pretty fucking disgusting. So she took that and just created a bunch more stuff that happened. Ew. No one condones the boys' behavior. They all acted stupidly, playing with BB guns and playing gross pranks on each other. So was the son also participating in these pranks and stuff? I'm curious, because if it was just one-sided, yes, I could see Vann here being a bully, but from the sound of the story, they were buddies. And the mom just seen this urine cup or urine apple juice thing as a way to make a bunch of money. Holy. And obviously people can say, well, why didn't Nichols speak up? Because that's his mother. Have you ever tried, when you are a kid, to prove that your mother's a lying bitch? It's impossible. What are you going to do? You go out and you try, you're going to get your ass whooped. Look at this woman. She looks violent. I don't know about you, but when you're a kid and you have nowhere to go, you ain't going to go against your mother. Okay? It's just, that's not how this works. Anybody who's lived should know this. Like, come on. But anyway, there's one. Next, we'll look at this one. Oh, I didn't see the comments. So, on these next two, there's two very biased comments in these, which I find is very entertaining. I don't know why Donald Trump's here. It's an advertisement on their website. This video has nothing to do with the actual story. I'm sorry for having to look at his face. But anyways, 5 years later, yet another woke-era hate crime hoax has fallen apart. Hate crime hoaxes are nothing new. No, they're not. In fact, you don't hear about most of these cases because usually it's black people doing it to white people. The media never talks about that because fuck white people, right? But this happens quite often nowadays. You can look up multiple cases like this. I'm not going to. That's not what we're here to talk about. But because, like I said at the beginning, there's a financial incentive to accuse random white people of hate crimes because then you can make a GoFundMe and then a bunch of dum-dums will send you money. I mean, if I were... I'm just going to be honest. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to hit the microphone. I'm just going to be honest. I would do the same thing. Yeah. That's why you can't have these types of things to be allowed to exist, is because anybody who wants a quick paycheck could completely go and do it. Does it make it right? But, I mean, do you really give a fuck if you're getting $500,000? Probably not. Sorry. Tangent. But during the woke overcorrection of the late teens and early 2020s, when everyone was morally obligated to pretend they enjoyed Hamilton, and I don't know what that has to do with anything. Consider the 2021 case of Plano in Texas, where a white teenager, Asher Vann, was accused of torturing a black classmate. From the sound of the first article, it sounds like they were just two stupid kids who were playing pranks on each other. I did the same thing with my friends when I was in middle school. We would drink hot sauce and try to one-up each other because that's what young boys do. But now I've never considered making my friend drink pee. That's pretty disgusting. I'm not here to side with either one of these things. I'm just here to say what I think. So if you feed a kid urine, you're gonna have a bad time. Doesn't matter what color their skin is. Don't do that shit to your homie, man. That's disgusting. Come on. By shooting him with BB guns, abusing him with racial slurs, and to drink urine. It was a shocking story. Yeah, I mean, if this actually were true, and they were just shooting this poor kid with BB guns and calling him racial slurs, it was a total fabrication. Oh, damn it! My narrative! I'm just kidding. Cooked up to raise money and the national profiles of the supposed victim's family and their attorney. Oh, the attorney was getting a paycheck too. Interesting. A civil jury determined last year that nothing transpired as initially described. The accused vindication reached its completion last month when a judge announced the amount of damages the white teen is owed, but you would hardly know any of this because the news outlets that breathlessly reported the initial hoax, even to the point of potentially putting the accused's life in danger, haven't published any follow-up stories. Well, yeah, it's way more profitable to ruin a white kid's life than to go and point out the truth. When it comes out that these stories were lies, the media goes completely silent. Thankfully, we live in a time where people like me and other people exist who like to talk about these things, so it doesn't completely go swept under the rug. I'm no random nobody, but I still like to talk about these things because the media won't. This is outrageous. Yes, it is, given the sheer scale and audacity of the original lies. In 2021, when Humphrey's mother, I'm assuming that's the name of the kid, Humphrey? Summer Smith. So the name is being released. The other article just chose not to. Again, suspicious. Humphrey's mother, Summer Smith, first made these allegations of utterly depraved wrongdoing. NBC, CBS, CNN, everybody was covering this. Each eagerly reported the supposed indignity suffered by the black teen. Well, now they're quiet now because they were wrong, as they usually are. Smith, who would later describe Vann as evil, made the rounds on the networks with her attorney Kim Cole appearing on CNN and ABC News. The latter even promoted a Give Send Go campaign set up for the attorney on behalf. So the fundraising account raised $120,000. Okay, so not as much as other cases, but that's life-changing money, man. Who responded to the call for help with Seymourian schooling and therapy. Hey, $120,000 if it was actually spent to send this kid to school, this kid would be living a great life. Too bad the parents completely spent it all. So they used their own kid as a token in a hate crime hoax to make $120,000 just to say, sorry, Junior, Mom has got to go party. Wow, what a Mother of the Year award, right, guys? Protesters showed up at his home. Naturally, the leader of the Black Lives Matter even showed up there, claimed the black student had been tortured for hours. See, and then what happens is that when these allegations come out, people start adding to it and adding more lies and more horrible, disgusting things, and these stories just keep escalating, right? $3.2 million. He's never going to get it. That was then last month. A Texas district court judge ordered Smith and Cole to pay $3.2 million in damages to Vann after the civil trial last year found that they fabricated the entire story, intentionally inflicted severe emotional distress, and ruined his life, and put his life in physical danger. But, you know, anything for a bag, right, guys? Also, of the $120,000 donated to Smith, only $1,000 was spent on the son. You spent less than you spent a micro percentage of this money on your son. Wow, and these are the people we're calling heroes. Great. Regarding the media outlets that had been so eager to promote the Humphrey folk hoax, none of them has published follow-up reports mentioning either the 2025 jury decision and the damages. Well, of course, it goes against their narrative that all white people are inherently evil monsters. Lastly, regarding Vann himself, he has moved on with his life and is now in college, having spent the past 5 years receiving death threats and dodging doxing attempts. Damn, holy crap. People who do this type of stuff, even before, like, cases come out that it's true or not, are vile. He also told the Free Bacon that during the height of the hoax against him, none of the newsrooms that amplified the supposed victim story even contacted him for comment. Of course not. What legacy media does is they find a story like this. They're like, oh, sweet, we got ourselves another token black victim here. Let's weaponize his skin color against the other side. And it's like the most racist crap ever. And then Of course, they're not going to ask his side of the story because fuck him. We're making money off of this, right? Like, ha ha ha. Jesus Christ. We live in such a disgusting world. The 2021 hoax story was, in its time, the most shocking racial hate crime allegation since 2019. Yeah, that sounds like shooting someone with guns and calling them racial slurs and feeding them urine. That's pretty fucked up. Good thing it never happened, huh? That was when 2 white Trump supporters supposedly jumped actor in downtown sub-zero temperatures. They were reported to have doused him. What? What does this have to do with the story? That, of course, never happened either. Oh, okay. Smollett staged the attack upon himself, blah, blah, blah. The most frustrating thing about such hate crime hoaxes, besides all the media attention they tend to attract, is they persist precisely because we in the media keep falling for them. Yeah, it's because everybody runs with it. They hear these stories with no proof and no receipts and are just like, yep, white man bad. Get him. It's ridiculous. This is the same crap that white people did to black people in the 50s. We're literally just doing the same thing with a different group of people. And by the way, just like black people were allowed to defend themselves then, we're allowed to defend ourselves now. I know you don't like to hear it, but none of us existed during those times, okay? We live in a different time now where most of us were raised to live amongst one another. But now you get a bunch of these old fucks out here that want to make us racist against each other again. It's so messed up. And look at the comments. Nothing like a far-right biased journalist writing a one-sided opinion article. Oh, like you mean how the mother was doing the same thing to get a bunch of money? Interesting. Yeah, alt-right, yeah, just a bunch of retards. Like, who are these people? Oh, wow, this guy just makes comments on all posts. So you're a bot. Okay, what about you? Easy solution, just amend the law. So these are just obsessed retards. Okay, cool. One more. We'll do one more article. That way, we got 3 different sources of information rather than one, right? You got to do your due diligence on this stuff. So, this is from the college, which is, from what I'm aware of, is a very left-leaning news source. So we did one kind of middle ground one right-leaning one. We're going to do one left-wing one, okay? And then everybody gets a fair shot. Judge awards white college student $3.2 million after a fake racism allegation. Notice how whenever you get to the left side, it's right there. Skin color matters, apparently. You could have just said the guy's name. You didn't have to dehumanize him to his skin color, which is essentially what the people in this picture did too. Don't these just look like lovely, upstanding citizens? This poor kid. I'm not mad at the kid. I'm mad at the mother and this chick who probably spent all the money. Let's be real. This kid just got born here. He looks like a nice kid. And he honestly, you can look at his face. He's like, I can't believe what my mom is doing. Like, he's a victim here too. Imagine being raised by these monsters. Oh, I feel for the kid. I hope he grew up to be a good man and didn't let the people who raised him turn him into another monster. Anyway, so a Texas judge awarded a white college student, say his name, you freaks, $3.2 million in attorney fees and damages after he endured years of allegations, attacks. He bullied his black friend and forced him to drink urine. Judge Benjamin Smith recently released his decision stemming from a civil trial between Asher Vann and Summer Smith, the mother of Vann's Cimmerian Humphrey. See, again, the first article said that they weren't releasing his name because he was a minor at the time of the allegations. Well, they're adults now. So that was a lie. Vann also won damages from Kim Cole, pictured left, the attorney for... Oh, that's the attorney. Okay. The ruling ends a 5-year-long saga that began with Humphrey accused... No, Humphrey didn't accuse Vann. His mother did. See, we're already getting into the leftist lies here. Shooting him with a BB gun and forcing him to drink urine when they were all in middle school. Vann is now in college. I'm surprised they didn't dox his college. Black Lives Matter and NAACP groups pounced on the story, and the mainstream media quickly helped spread it. Yep. However, the controversy began to fall apart as the school officials and law enforcement experts looked into it. Damn. So you do any type of actual investigation into these things, and it found out it's complete lies. Well, why wasn't this done before you ruined the kid's life? Huh? Answer me that. Both the school's black assistant principal and Plano Police Department detective did not believe there was a probable cause to bring charges, the Free Beacon reported. So there was even someone who was saying this isn't true, completely got ignored. The detective, Patricia McClear, informed the Fix on Friday that the grand jury also declined to bring charges. The accused version of the story also provides broader context. First, the white student did not gang up on Humphrey and start shooting him with BB guns. Rather, they were all dressed up during winter storm to hunt frogs but couldn't find any. Humphrey, the black student, asked to be shot by his friends. See? I was right. It's just a bunch of they're just kids being dipshits. And all that happened was this demon of a mother seeing that as an opportunity to get rich. Then we all switched and took turns shooting each other. Wow. It's almost like the most obvious thing that anybody could predict was the truth. 8-year-olds playing with BB guns got bored and shot each other. Oh my god! Okay, anyway. Second, the story of being forced to drink urine also is, as could be expected, more about the immaturity. They were probably doing... So I did this with a friend of mine when I was 14. And we did a one of those gross eating contests. I don't know what to call them, fear factor stuff. That's the word I'm looking for. So we drank live fish, hot sauce that was 1,000,000 Scovilles. We took a 4-ounce ramekin of this and just, we're stupid kids. We do stupid things. It's up to the adults to be able to differentiate between that, but apparently we can't even get that right. Okay, yeah. The Free Bacon reports that Smith, Sumerian's mom, plans to appeal. Of course she does, because she spent all the money. Now she needs another paycheck. For her part, reportedly spent more than $100,000 raised from the Gofundme on herself, including luxuries, a designer dog, dining and travel, beauty products, liquor, vapes, cell phones, car payments, and rent. Damn. So much for going to private school there, little Timmy. Sorry, mama's gotta go party. Woo! So what should happen now is the mother should go to jail. I believe the kid is 18 now, and the $2.3 million is never going to get paid. Obviously, this woman doesn't have the money. So I think she should serve the amount of time equal to $2.3 million. That's just my opinion, though. But there it is, guys. Oh, my headphones just died. Give me a second. We're at the end of the video anyway. There we go. But yeah. Maybe I'll try to cover more stories like this, because it is getting a little ridiculous that a lot of these hoaxes are being swept under the rug, Oops, I didn't mean to open that. That's my Ascension game. But anyways, thank y'all for watching. Catch you in the next one.